Hey everybody, this is Willie the Butcher here in Knoxville, Tennessee, talking to you about some wonderful holiday roasting options. Again, we've already gone over the whole tenderloin, which we have here in front. Now we're getting ready to jump into the rib roast, the big boy, okay? So let's go and let's jump in here and see what we got. All right, so this is a boneless prime rib roast, okay? This is a whole roast. This guy weighs probably close to about 14, 15 pounds, okay? So this whole guy right here, if you were to get it, could feed roughly probably about 20 people, okay? But what we want to do is we want to kind of start prepping this, or show you what you can do at home if you're buying one and you want to kind of tackle this yourself, or you understand and know that when you come in and you order at Willy's Butcher Shop, you'll know what to order and know that we're going to take care of you, okay? So let's jump in. So what we're going to do here, you can kind of see this thin, flappy part of this roast. We're just going to kind of come and lightly kind of trim this back a little bit, okay? Because we want to take this off. It's not really good. It's not tasty. And we just kind of want to pull this guy right off, okay? And we're getting it down. And then we're going to get down to the lip of the rib, okay? And now we're just going to kind of make a cut all the way straight across here, just getting that wonderfully removed, okay? All right. So one thing that I like to do is I always like to come and just kind of square up my rib roast here just a little bit. Okay, and then right here at this end, I'm just going to come and kind of square this guy up as well, because if not, it's just oddly shaped, and it's not going to cook evenly. It's not going to cook well. Okay, so we just kind of want to get that all shaped up. I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this excess upper fat right here. Okay, so now you can see we've got, just not very difficult. We got a beautiful, wonderful, trimmed up, ready to go, boneless rib roast. I'm just going to come through, and I like to kind of come through and just sculpt a little bit more so that when I string tie it up, it's just going to pull up really nice and round out really well for that beautiful holiday, once a year, Big Daddy rib roast, okay? All right, so let's get in here. All right, so we've gotten the top all nice and clean. We've sculpted and cleaned up the lip. So I'm going to turn this around and kind of show you, give you your show here. All right, so you can see how we've kind of cleaned up this lip here. This lip generally kind of has a downward angle and kind of lips out, okay? And we want to take that off. We still want to keep a good amount of fat for that wonderful flavor and that roasting and that crust, okay? But we don't need all of it because it's just overkill, okay? Now, the other thing is, we can see, and I'm going to turn this here to the camera, okay? This is what we call the loin end, okay? Still beautiful. We got some really nice intermuscular marbleization there, but you can also see that this actually looks more like a New York strip, right? Because as we're moving down the animal, we are transitioning, right? So we're moving out of the rib and we're moving into the loin, which is that strip loin, which would be your New York strip, okay? Now, my favorite, and I think personally the best cut, is from the rib end, okay? Which will be separated off the shoulder, okay? And that is this piece, this cut, this end right here, which is absolutely, if we had the money shot and the money cut, this is it. And the reason why is because this is going to be the eye, right? You can see that. It's some amazing marbleization. And then this outer piece right here is what we call the spinalis, or a lot of people refer to it as the ribeye cap, okay? And that piece is just the best part of the ribeye. It's the buttery part. It's what everybody wants. So when you're buying a rib roast, go into your butcher, go into your grocery store, whatever avenues you got, okay? And always ask, you want it cut from the rib end. If you're getting a boneless one, to say you cut from the rib end and how many pounds you would like. And roughly for every inch is about a pound. It's about 16 ounces, okay? So in theory, you could say, well, I want 4 inches, I want 5 inches, right? That's going to be a 4 to 5 pounder, okay? If you're buying a bone-in and what we call a standing rib roast, okay, you're going to actually order it by the bone, okay? And you have a total of 7 bones, and you'll tell them I want a 2-bone, I want a 3-bone, 4-bone, 5-bone, 6-bone, 7-bone, okay? And hopefully they know what they do or they're doing. We certainly do over at Willy's, but we will absolutely take it, we'll trim it up, and we'll get it to that perfect roasting where the bones are detached, tied back on. If you even want it seasoned, we'll season it for you. But getting into this rib roast here, what we're going to do right now is we're going to cut this guy up, and we're going to cut roughly 2 roasts, right? So if we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if we put a mark right there, and we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's do a little bit further over, 8. So roughly, if we cut this in half, we got about 2 8-pound rib roasts, okay? So I'm just going to slightly go right down through this. Wow, this is beautiful. This thing's cutting like butter. Love it. That's always a wonderful sign. All right, so now, beautiful, right? Look at that. Look at that guy. Absolutely fantastic. That's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for that beautiful little bit of lip fat. We're looking for this beautiful spinalis. We're looking for that center eye cut with all that intermuscular marbleization. That's what we're looking for, right? This is going to be a fabulous, fabulous roast, right? Okay, so this one right here is the rib end. This is the loin end, okay? It's still going to have some of the spinalis, but as we transition down, it's going to be diminishing to virtually no spinalis. It doesn't go the full length of the rib loin, okay? All right, so now with these guys done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, because what we want to do is we just want to put a little string tie on it. So at Willy's, you can come in and you can let us help you, and we'll certainly put it together for you, but we'll also let you take the credit for it. All right. So here we go. We have now a beautiful tied up rib roast, okay? Getting into the cooking aspect of this. All right, so one of my loves and one of my biggest things that I like to do is, we've got a couple different things. One, get a good roasting rack, right? Second of all, always put water in the bottom of it, okay? It doesn't really help the roast or anything like that, but what it does is instead of all that fat dripping down and burning and everything like that in the bottom of the pan and smoking up the house, even though it smells good, we just don't want that, okay? So put a nice little, probably about ½ inch layer. That water will evaporate, but then you're gonna have all that beautiful juice and all that au jus that you can use for a nice, beautiful, gravy or whatever for the rib roast, right? All right, I am a traditionalist in that I like to roast this guy. I started out at about 450 to 500 degrees for about 30 minutes and let it sear, okay? Then I come back after about 30 minutes, I drop the temperature down to 325 and I let it finish out. And I like mine that medium rare, so we're looking at 120 to 125 degrees. But just remember that a large piece of meat like this, you can, as you take it out and you let it rest, it will increase by 2 to 3 degrees. It's called after cooking, okay? So always take that into account based upon your finishing temp. And always know that if you are doing this and you have a bunch of people and you got a bunch of people that, you got 20 people, you got 10 that like it medium rare, people that like it medium, go into your butcher, have them cut you 2 roasts, right? Or if you want a 4-bone roast, have them do 2 bones. And that way you can beautifully not have to stress, and you can take one out a little bit sooner than the other. And that way you've got a medium rare here, and then you've got a medium. In prepping this guy, this is a very, very large cut of meat. Okay, you're going to have it in the fridge. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to take this guy out, put it on the rack, and throw it right in the oven, right? Because what's going to happen? It's cold. It's going to take too long for that meat to sear, right? You're not going to get that good crust, right? Because it's too cold. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let this guy sit out, and it's totally fine. I let my roast sit out for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours before I cook it, okay? If you're a little scared about that, do 1 to 2. But this cut of meat, you need to bring it to room temperature. You got to let it rest before and then after. And that way you'll get that maximum juiciness and that beautiful burst of flavor, okay? So the other thing that I like to do, and you can still season it, you know, if you've ever been into Willy's, we have a beautiful Willy rub that is probably the most dynamic and wonderful spice seasoning mix, especially for meat and a rib roast. But the one thing you can do prior to that is while you're letting this meat rest, season the whole thing with some salt, okay, all the way around, and let it rest. And the reason why we want to do that is that the moisture is going to actually start to break down that salt, and that salt's going to penetrate down into the meat, okay? One, getting all that flavor, and then it's going to allow for any of that seasoning that you put on the meat to then also penetrate down, so you'll get that maximum, you know, spice flavoring, not just on the outside, but down inside that cut of meat. And then the other thing is that salt is actually going to create moisture retention. So I hope some of these tips and a lovely little instruction here has helped you. And if you have any questions or further questions, we will be posting out on willysbutchershops.com website a phone number, and we will have an open call center for you to call in and talk to Willy and ask him any questions you want. I know that currently we are not open right now as we are expanding the company to bring you a bigger and better butcher shop, and as well a lovely artisanal burger and sausage restaurant opening up in 2026. But for right now, we just want to do what we can to help out our wonderful customers and give you some great advice so that you can have the happiest Christmas and New Year's this year. Thanks again.